In this video, I am presenting the Roland recommended add-on accessory to both the FR-8x and 4x, the FC-300 MIDI pedal unit. The FC-300 is a general-purpose device that can be used to control any MIDI instrument. Essentially, in response to 9 foot pedals, as well as 2 foot-controlled volume or variation pedals, it generates and sends from its output receptacle MIDI control messages. Normally, to make any particular device or instrument do what you want in response to certain pedal actions, you would need to program the pedals to send whatever MIDI messages that instrument has been designed to respond to, as published by its MIDI implementation document. You would do this by programming on the FC-300 pedal unit itself, a process that requires technical knowledge of MIDI. However, Roland has removed the need for FC-300 pedal programming when using the FR-8x or 4x by providing on those instruments special configuration menus right on the V accordion itself. No special knowledge of MIDI is required. Not all accordionists have a need for an add-on pedal unit. Many like to stroll as they play, and hence don't like the idea of being attached to external devices by electrical wires or cables, like this MIDI cable. If that is your preference, then this video is not for you. However, for the music studio, as well as on-stage performances where you are not expected to move around, a pedal unit can be a great advantage. It will allow you to very easily control certain features of your instrument without having to move your fingers from the keys as you play. In addition, a variable volume pedal is attractive to those accordionists who have perfected that playing technique for controlling the dynamics of orchestral and organ sounds on external sound modules and arrangers. With an FC-300, you can control the orchestral and organ sounds of the V accordion itself with a volume pedal. I'm told that a volume pedal is an important capability for playing church organ music. In this video, I will demonstrate the interconnection of the FC-300 to the FR-4x. But except for some very minor details, everything that I show applies in principle to the FR-8x as well. The FR-4x comes with a single MIDI receptacle, which can act either as an output or input. By default, it is configured as an out, making it more convenient to use right out of the box to control external instruments, such as the BK7M. However, to use the FC-300 pedal unit, I must reconfigure the MIDI receptacle to act as an input, which I do in the system menu. I start by pressing the menu button. Then using the right arrow button, I navigate to the system menu title. I press the Enter button to enter the menu. The first system parameter appears. I want to make a MIDI configuration change, so I need to go to the MIDI submenu, which is the last item on the system menu list. I can conveniently get there by pressing and holding down the right arrow button. To enter the submenu, I press the Enter button. And I am immediately presented with the MIDI out-in parameter. In order for the 4x to receive MIDI messages from the FC-300, I must set this parameter to in. Makes sense, doesn't it? I do so by pressing the plus button. To save my configuration change, I press and hold the menu button. Then the right arrow button, then the Yes button to confirm. My change is now permanent and will be in effect the next time I turn my instrument on. This configuration change is global. That is, it will be felt across all sets and instrument sections. The FR-8x has 2 MIDI receptacles, an out and an in. Hence, on that model, this configuration change is not needed. I will now show the configuration change necessary to use the volume pedal of the FC-300 to control the dynamics of the instrument's orchestral and organ sounds. The parameter that controls this feature, called expression pedal, is in the orchestra menu. Before pressing the menu button, I must make sure that the instrument is in orchestra mode by pressing the orchestra button. I now press the menu button. I press the right arrow button 3 times to get to the orchestra menu, and then the enter button to enter the menu. I press the right arrow button 15 times to get to the expression pedal parameter. I press the plus button to turn the feature on. Now to save. As before, I press and hold the menu button. But this parameter is not global in scope. Rather, it is restricted to one set. Thus, I can use the instrument configured for pedal expression in one set and then for bellows expression in another set. Isn't that nice? Hence, I do not perform a system save as I did for the MIDI receptacle. Now I want to do a set save. I press the plus button to switch to the set save operation. I then press the right arrow button to initiate the save operation. I see that the instrument is prepared to save set number 1, which is the one in which I just made a parameter change. It turns out that there are many data categories within a set. However, if this is the only change I have performed, I can skip that complexity by pressing and holding the right arrow button to scroll through all data categories until I am asked to press the Yes button to confirm. There you are. Set number 1 is now configured to use the volume pedal of the FC-300 pedal unit. As described in the owner's manual of the FC-300, the pedal unit can be run on either AC power or battery power. I currently have batteries installed. To connect the FC-300 to the V-accordion, I connect a standard 5-pin MIDI cable from the MIDI out receptacle of the FC-300 to the MIDI receptacle of the V-accordion, which on the 4X has been configured to operate as an in. I turn the power on the FC-300 pedal unit. I then press the mode switch twice to put the pedal unit in its special system mode. It is now ready for use with the FR-4x. With the current configuration, the instrument plays in the normal manner when in accordion mode. You see the dynamics is dependent on the bellows action. However, when in organ mode, no bellows action is required. The sound is at a constant level determined by the position of the volume pedal. Did you notice my foot moving the volume pedal? Same thing when in orchestra mode. This is a standard configuration that many people who play MIDI-equipped acoustic accordions want. Bellows action on the accordion reeds, volume pedal on organ and orchestral sounds, which in the past required the use of an external sound module or arranger. But now you no longer need that extra gear. With a V-accordion and an FC-300 pedal unit, it can all be done right on your accordion. Of course, if you have not trained yourself to use that playing technique, then this configuration is not for you. Myself, I'm not from that generation of accordionists who played acoustic MIDI instruments, so I do not use a volume pedal when I play. Hence, I leave the expression pedal off. For me, a much more valuable feature of the FC-300 foot pedal unit is the ability to control certain aspects of the FR-4x's operation completely hands-off. The good news is that with the menus available right on the 4x itself, no special knowledge of MIDI is required. Let me demonstrate my own favorite configuration for the front row pedals, the ones that are more accessible while playing. In the FR-4x menu system, they are referred to as pedals 5 through 9. Foot pedal configuration is accomplished in the System menu, with the result that adjustments will apply to all sets and instrument sections. I press the menu button. I navigate to the System menu. I enter. I navigate to the MIDI foot controller submenu. I enter. I navigate to pedal number 5. Using the plus button, I configure it for User Program Up. I will be demonstrating the use of that feature in a performance at the end of this video. I configure pedal number 6 for orchestra. Pedal number 7 for accordion. Pedal number 8 for organ. And pedal number 9 for drums. I then perform a system save. My pedals are now configured. With my current pedal configurations, I can conveniently change the playing modes of my instrument. Orchestra. Accordion. Organ. And drums. I can even press 2 pedals at once for dual mode, orchestra and accordion. Or organ and accordion. Of course, all of this is possible by pressing appropriate buttons on the instrument itself. However, doing so can be challenging, depending on the complexity of the music, even for advanced level accordionists. Being able to perform these standard operations without having to take my fingers off the keys while playing is a great advantage. The pedals can also be configured for a wide variety of other standard operations. Refer to the FR-4x reference manual. Now, what about the User Program Up operation that I configured at pedal number 5? That allows me to apply more orchestral variety to my playing completely hands-off using a concept called sequential multi-part orchestrations. It's a playing technique that has evolved on other electronic instruments like organs and keyboards, and it is considered a more modern approach to playing complex orchestrations. In the demonstration that follows, you will see me step through an 18-part orchestration of a song entitled Dream Song. You might recognize it as the theme song of a famous radio broadcast show from the 1940s and 50s. Of course, in real life, no one would apply as much orchestral variety as you see me do to such a short piece. The demonstration does not represent an actual performance. It's an example to show you the possibilities using this playing technique. For example, it gives me more global control over the instrument, as evidenced by me using reed combinations from completely different sets. I'm also able to use within a single performance more orchestral voices than there are register buttons. Be on the lookout for several FR-4x operational advantages. For example, when I switch from part 7 to part 8, the AB switch is automatically activated. Also, when I switch from part 14 to 15, the FR-4x automatically switches to user program bank number 2. I use a backing track for accompaniment, a track that I previously created using my BK7M. On the 4X, user programs can be automatically linked to pre-recorded backing tracks. Finally, I use the chromatic button version of the instrument for the reason that I feel more comfortable on that style of accordion. Of course, you can do the same with the piano version. For more information about the Roland FC-300 foot pedal unit and how it can be used on either the FR-4X or 8X, or if you have questions about the sequential multi-part orchestration playing technique that I demonstrate in this video, call Roxy's. I hope my demonstration gives you new ideas for your own performances.